So this is a portfolio project I did a while ago on checking the USA federal budget and making sure that I adjusted for inflation. Common topic you'll hear about. I try not to be political, but you hear, oh, where's all our money going? So that was my business question, I guess. Something you'd hear on the street, right? Where's all our money going? Where are my taxes going? So this is the dashboard that I made for that. Um, yeah, I've been working on my Power BI skills since then, but this is what I worked on. Looks a little crowded for my liking, but has all the things I'm interested in. So I'll show you where I started. U.S. federal budget increase, U.S. federal budget CPI. Started with this Excel sheet here. I'm opening Power Query just to kind of show you the steps and how I got the data. So for U.S. federal budget, what's my source? Okay, so I actually downloaded a CSV for the federal budget. But for US CPI, I did a web scrape. Pulled the web page contents of this and turned it into a table. I can show you how to do that real quick. If I go here, just copy my website, make a new query, new source, other sources, web. If you paste a URL here in Power Query, you can get an actual table from the web once it makes that connection. It's a quick way to web scrape. Works some of the time. Can work with PDFs, etc. Well, yeah, if you do it right, but yeah, it gives you a preview of the different tables you've got available to you. Their titles may or may not be automatically uploaded. And then this one gave it, okay, it's the same table twice. This is just in the suggested table folder. Click OK there, and now it's loaded this. So did some data cleaning to this, moved my columns up, renamed some columns, and I got my inflation each year from 1913 to 2023. Got the percentage change from the end of the year to the end of the year, the average change to the average change. I'm guessing I did a mathematical custom function here, hence why I have errors here, because there's nothing to subtract from the previous offset. And then, so for my US federal budget, the original source looked like this. You've got a row-based transactional system of your departments, their years, their funding in millions of dollars, and then the percentage increase, which I could change to a percentage type. That'd probably be helpful. Guessing I did that in Power BI. Here is the original federal budget table with, yeah, straight to upload, and then I renamed some of the columns. You can see it has a lot of data here, and it also has, what do you call it? Yeah, transactional data. Got the years over here, and then it has every different department in its own column. So looks good for a tabular database. It's going to be a lot of fields. Some of these aren't necessary, like the receipts. That's not a department, so I don't really care about the spending of that. If I knew what it was, maybe. Here's where I did data transformation. I unpivoted those columns, then did some aggregations to make sure that I got the years and that I got the funding in millions of dollars. Having it in this format is going to be easier for my visualization purposes when it comes to Power BI. So I'll exit out of this. Don't know if I changed anything, so I won't save that. Did some data transformation in Excel, moved it over to Power BI. Let's see what my transformation was here, if any. Been learning about, I think it's Gessalt's principle, Gestalt. You want to make changes to your data as close to the source as possible, so you're not editing a bunch of things in DAX. So here, did some transformations to convert the end of year CPI into a percentage. This is your inflation every year. And over here, I have two US federal budget tables. It's not great, doesn't exactly follow the Kimball model, but for different visualizations, I needed a different type of table, and I didn't feel like using DAX, so I guess I made two tables at the time, but it's not the best practice. Close out of here. Here I got a bar chart going of just annual inflation over time. It shows a bar chart over a line graph. I think just it gave more visual clarity. Also, it allows you to go to each individual year and see what the inflation is. Average of annual inflation is 0.07, so 7% for 2021. Even there, I'm kind of seeing an issue. I would probably want annual inflation to be changed into a percentage if it were me. So, yeah, no. Inflation was 7%. 2022, inflation was 6.5%. That's pretty high with a historical average of 3%. And here we have our funding by departments. So Social Security is getting the most. The Treasury is the next. Department of Defense, third most funded. It's, yeah, a few $1 billion right there. Then you get a huge drop off with Veterans Affairs, Social Security, if it were on budget. Interesting. Labor, agriculture, education, etc. This one, yeah, that's less than $1 million right there. Yeah, here's the million fee. And my units are already in millions, so this is 1 million million. That is quite a bit of money. Here I have your overall funding increases, and then your annual inflation for that year. So 1976, 4.9%. Goes up. This is probably why I put this slicer in here. So if you look at Department of Agriculture, where I work presently, yeah, you can see there was a 6% increase from 1976 to 1977. But when you subtract for inflation, you get almost a negative increase in funding. So these are the inflation adjusted increases in funding. Annual percentage increase, we want that to be a percent. Inflation adjusted increase, I also want that to be a percent. So there we go. Uncheck that. Let's go back to the overall. So yeah, 31.8 minus the 6.7 is going to get you around this number. Basically, I'm taking the percentage increases and I'm subtracting inflation to get the actual adjusted increase in funding for each department. People like to forget about inflation. Here I went with a tree map. I don't remember why. I think I've been learning about it in a lot of tutorials. And it's just a good visualization. And I guess it's a lesson to me right now. So here you can see that Health and Human Services and Social Security are the top two. On a tree map, you'll notice they look almost similar. But over here, there's a difference of $20,000 million. So tree maps are not always a great data visualization. But if you're just trying to show a bunch of hierarchical categories quickly, maybe show off things that are in the top order, they can be used quickly for that. Yeah, so this is my dashboard that I worked on for checking out the USA federal budget with inflation adjusted increases. So the actual amount of funding increase that every department is getting. Hopefully that answers that age old question everyone has. Hey, where are my tax dollars going? Thanks for hearing me out. Appreciate you.